Again, my little Tesla cats. But yeah, I started pretending. Um, but it wasn't because it wasn't before I couldn't pretend. It's because before I don't really think I really had a mental state to pretend or even any ideas on things at the time. But on top of people just disliking me and you know, I looked for anything else at the time, and this is again elementary school through middle school, and I would say partially into high school, but I really don't know of any real huge situations that I had to deal with people picking at me in high school. Um, but I digress. I've got to really think this through. Um, when I was being bullied, I just slowly was slipping and sinking. And it kind of continued into middle school, but as I started getting bullied, my walls built up around me. I built the wall up saying I could never trust anyone unless I knew them. I built up the wall that talking to the new girl or the new guy or the new kid would be a bad idea. I built up the wall saying that no one is really nice to me or really likes me unless I've known them for a while, and no one cares what happens to me. I built up the wall that I'm not good enough and I won't ever be good enough for anyone. I built up the wall that um I'm hated by anyone that I talk to that's new in my life. I built up the wall that no one would care about me, and no one did care about me except for my parents and my brother. I built up a lot of walls, and they just sort of followed me. They followed me around. So anytime I heard someone talk about me, or say something to me, I would either take it as they're being insincere, or I wouldn't be sure by what they meant. And there were times where in elementary school where people were like, "Oh, she's like," there were times where I think people lied about things they said, or if they didn't lie about them at the time, we weren't sure, but I swear I heard them the specific way. There were times where there was only one time I was hit in the back of the head, and that was with a fist, and it really didn't feel like anything. Because I accidentally bumped into the girl, and I had already been having a rough day, and then she kept pushing me, and I ended up punching her in the side. So there was a lot of stuff that happened, but when I got into middle school, those walls followed me around a lot. I hardly ever talked to anybody, and I had a very cold demeanor. And the few friends I did make in middle school were either very, very, very prissy or whatever, and part of that had to do with not being very good at keeping secrets at the time. And sometimes keeping things secrets is not a good idea. Like if your friend tells you they've been cutting themselves or contemplating suicide, that's not something you keep secret, but they were really stupid secrets that I would give out, and so it built people's lack of trust in me to keep those secrets. One of those petty secrets had to do with Kimball Middle School, and yes, I'm looking at you, Kimball. You want us to grow up and go to high school, like middle schools. I actually think this is a problem for a lot of them, but you want us to grow up and be adults and act like young adults, but yet you still treat us like we're preschoolers, which is really smart of you. But and writing a petition to get everyone in the school to sign.